Now moving into Connecticut, I call it a coast-to-coast storm because you might have heard that it's caused blizzard conditions for parts of the West. It's also caused tornadoes. For us, we are expecting rain and snow and wind, and for some, a little bit of everything. It just depends on where you live. So far, we've only seen some areas of light rain and snow out there, but that will change as we head throughout the next hour or so as precipitation rates really start to pick up. So let's talk about first when this starts, when this ends. Well, it's already started, so you know that part, and it will end as we head into the wee hours of Saturday morning. So before the sun comes up Saturday morning, what are we talking about? Again, heavy rain and heavy snow depending on where you live. But the focus for snow is really going to be in northwestern Connecticut. And this is all going to be about location, 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 and elevation, because we could see anywhere from 0 inches of snow, none, all the way up to a foot of snow for the highest elevations. Areas that just see rain will stick to around an inch of it, so some heavy rain and even gusty winds as well, which we'll talk more about in just a moment. Here's what the radar looks like right now, and you'll see just a little bit of light drizzle right now for parts of northern Tolland and Windham counties, and we're also seeing maybe some drizzle or light rain in parts of Fairfield County. But as we widen out the picture here, look at all this heavy rain that we're seeing right now southwest of New York City. This heavy precipitation is going to be pivoting into our area, and along with it, the chance for some heavy snow in the northwest hills. So we are just getting underway. This storm system is coming in from the Midwest, but it will end up feeding its energy off to a new storm that will be developing off the New Jersey coast. Right now, we're looking at temperatures that are in the mid-30s to right around 40 degrees, but I think that temperatures will be dropping up in the northwest hills. Fast forwarding a couple hours from now, we'll take a look at 10 o'clock at night. So we're starting off as rain in Hartford, in Haddam, in New London. Might see a few flakes in northeastern Connecticut and some snow in northwestern Connecticut, especially as you head up in elevation. And as we head through the night and we get some of these bands of heavy precipitation in here, we might see a few additional towns change over to snow in northwestern areas while it is rain for most of the state. This is 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Most of the state is looking at a wet commute with gusts anywhere between 35 to 45 miles per hour. It's 45-mile-per-hour gusts possible at the immediate shoreline, 35 inland, and wind and heavy snow up in the northwest hills that could kind of cake trees and power lines and kind of stick to everything. I think the heaviest precipitation that we get from this system will be tonight through Friday morning. As we head into Friday afternoon, we'll start to see things get at least a little bit lighter. One thing I wanted to tell you about Friday morning, sometimes when you get really heavy precipitation rates, we can kind of cool the air enough that some towns might be able to see a little bit of a brief mix or a few wet snowflakes mix in, even though it's just showing up as rain here, but it would have a hard time sticking with temperatures well above freezing. This is Friday, 3 o'clock, maybe even changing over to rain briefly in the northwest hills. And then this is the back edge of the storm heading into Friday night. This is 8 o'clock. And notice some towns might actually change over to snow briefly before this all comes to an end. I wouldn't expect much in the way of additional accumulation out of this, but it could create a couple of slippery spots. And then this is Saturday morning, 6 a.m. We're dry. The storm is done. But again, I still think there will be some travel issues in areas that are able to get the most snow. So how much snow? Again, nothing for Hartford. Windsor Locks could see a slushy coating. Middletown, no accumulation expected through New Haven and all of New London County. But as soon as you head up in elevation, the northeast hills could see an inch or two of accumulation. The same is true around Waterbury and Sherman. Hello, this is obviously going to be the area of greatest concern, with 6 to 12 inches of snow possible in parts of northern Litchfield County, especially in areas that are above 1,000 feet. So you could see a very big range in snowfall totals over a small geographical area. And you're seeing that really good example of that here. Basically no snow accumulation in Hartford other than maybe a slushy accumulation at best on the grass. west. And then you get to Avon. At the bottom of Avon Mountain, no accumulation, but at the top, maybe we could get an inch or two. And then as you head up in elevation in Canton and also Burlington, especially Burlington, that's where we could get 3 to 6 inches of snow. And as you continue to head up in elevation, now we're in Winstead, and that's where we could see 6 to 12 inches of snow. Now it's only going to be 6 inches of snow if we do manage to see that change over to rain, or if temperatures are a degree or two warmer than we're anticipating. So that's how close of a call it is. A degree or two can make all of the difference to determine, well, is it a half a foot or is it a foot of snow? And that's why we want to just make sure that people in this area are prepared just in case they lose power, but hopefully they do not. North of Danbury, 1 to 3 inches of snow is expected. Southern Litchfield County, 3 to 6 inches of snow. I would say the greatest uncertainty in this map is in here, where you have that tight gradient, because an hour or two of snow more than we're anticipating could make a big difference in snowfall totals, and also an hour or two less of snow could make a difference in these snowfall totals. So these are the biggest areas of uncertainty here, but we're pretty confident that it's mainly just going to be rain for a lot of the rest of the state. And so is the National Weather Service. They have issued a winter storm warning in effect for northern Litchfield County. A winter storm warning is issued whenever there's a chance for 6 or more inches of snow, and there's a wind advisory in effect for the immediate shoreline with gusts up to 45. Usually at this time of year, when the trees are bare, it takes winds of about 60 miles per hour to really do damage to trees and power lines. But you know, a branch, a twig, it doesn't take much to get a couple isolated pockets. So I'm not anticipating big power issues at the shoreline, but just in case, the National Weather Service has issued that alert. So just to go through the various effects from the storm, rain and gusty winds for the shoreline. Gusts could reach up to 45 miles per hour. That's the highest for anywhere across the state. For inland, we're talking about mostly rain, but again, it could start or finish as a few snowflakes, or when precipitation rates pick up, there's a chance for some minor mixing, but very little accumulation, if any, expected. Most areas don't get any. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. And then the highlight will really be the Northwest Hills, where it is mainly snow above 1,000 feet. The chance for scattered outages if we can get over a half a foot of snow. Winter travel during the day on Friday, and gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Again, most of that accumulating snow will occur tonight into the morning tomorrow, but after that, the worst of the accumulation is over, but it's just either wet or white kind of day, depending on where you're watching us from. Look at the high temperatures during the day on Friday. 48 degrees in Groton, but 42 in Hartford and 38 in Torrington. Everybody does climb above freezing, but my goodness, it is going to be much warmer in the southeastern part of the state. By the time we wake up on Saturday morning, we are all done with the storm, and both days this weekend are dry. High temperatures on Saturday will be in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. Now, there will still be travel issues in the hills if we end up getting those high amounts of snow. But other than the cleanup and kind of what happened the night before, we aren't expecting any additional issues from the weather as we head into your Saturday or on Sunday, for that matter, for the first night of Hanukkah. One thing I did want to show you as we head into next week, it's chilly. High temperatures in the 30s to right around 40 degrees. The next thing that a lot of people are already kind of buzzing about in social media is about a week from today, there is a potential storm. We can't get too excited about things that are about a week away, although I understand why people are excited, because there's people that are dreaming of a white Christmas, and I get it. So there is a pretty good signal for potential storminess as we head towards this time next week. However, a lot can change between now and then. It's worth watching. Also, Wednesday is the first official day of winter. Of course, for meteorologists, winter starts December 1st because that's the beginning of the coldest quarter of the year. But if you're just looking at the winter solstice and the Earth in relationship to the sun, winter starts officially on Wednesday, so it would make sense that we would get some snow the following day. So overall, I would say the odds of a white Christmas this year are better than they have been the last several years, but it's certainly not a lock just yet. We'll keep